What's going on, guys? Merry Christmas. Welcome to our show, Chiefs Out West. We are your host, Kia.
And I'm Butch from Washington State.
We're here to talk about the Chiefs versus the Bears. Chiefs coming into Soldier Field, winning 26-3, having a good game, another good game all around. Woo! What a game it was. Butch, how'd you feel about it?
Yeah, that was the type of dominating performance on someone else's field on Sunday Night Football that we needed. Like the rest of everyone in the league who watched that game is now looking at the Kansas City Chiefs and saying to themselves, who wants to play these guys in the postseason? I think the answer is no. We spent all year talking about whether or not the Kansas City Chiefs were going to have the defense necessary to beat good teams in January. They still have the offense. Andy's showing us good stuff. The defense, though, could be a championship caliber defense.
Right. And then so let's go into detail, a little more depth of it. Let's start with the offense. What did you see the offense do so well against a really good Bears defense?
Well, the first thing I noticed, other than the fact that Chicago was a little decimated on defense with injuries, so I'm not going to get too excited about it, but for the most part, I saw what I needed to see along the offensive line. I wanted to be able to see an offensive line that can control the pass rush of a Khalil Mack, of a Leonard Floyd, and that could prevent the interior of his offensive line from getting decimated so much that it couldn't run the football. And it did both of those, and it did both of those pretty well. Khalil Mack is still an all-pro caliber defensive end. He really wanted to try to kill Patrick Mahomes a few times, but a combination of good communication along the front five of that offensive line and Patrick Mahomes stepping up in the pocket, trusting the pocket and letting it go was what got us a first down on 3rd and 18. It's what got us the possibility to drive multiple times in the first half and go up 17-0. That offensive line wasn't perfect, but it was good enough to win. It was good enough to win pretty convincingly, and I don't think there's another team that we'll face for the rest of the year that's as good as Chicago Bears.
Right. Yeah, no, I just enjoy like how much like we see Mahomes just getting better and better every week. And like you say, he's stepping up into the passes and he's just waiting. I love it when he kind of steps back when the guys are rushing at him and he's just waiting. There's this one pass where he just it just felt like he just like lofted it. He was going way back, he just lofted it to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill came to the ball, caught the ball, and was able to run for a first down. I'm falling back in love with them. I'm always in love with them, but I'm just like, I just love him so much right now. And he's just peaking. Good players peak at this time around, and he's doing it. And he's showing why he's so great. Another player I want to make a shout out to is Damian Williams. I think just like last year, he had fresh legs coming in. He just had a lot of juice, a lot of power, and he was just running like crazy. And I'm happy that he got the time off because seeing him run like that with just power, pretty good vision, and just making his right cuts, and just kind of reminded me a lot of last year, like towards like week 16, 17 in the playoffs where they were just highly utilizing him. I really hope that, he just kind of continues this. It just feels like he's playing with an edge. I was just really happy to see the offense doing really well.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other half of the offensive line playing so well, is in the run game. In the run game, they were able to create some running lanes through the middle. They were able to combo on the defensive tackles, get to the second level on the linebackers. They were able to go from shotgun, inside zone, outside zone, sweeps. They were finding success right through the heart of their defensive line. And I know it didn't have Akeem Hicks and they lost Eddie Goldman earlier in the game, but I don't care. That interior, that defensive line is still very good. And our guys were able to not only get the requisite push up front, but when Damian Williams got through the hole, he wasn't dancing at all. Usually we'll see him, he'll try to skirt, get right and left. He saw a linebacker was like, screw this, and pounded forward. He had a couple of runs where he really crushed the linebackers at the second level to get himself an extra 3 or 4 yards for a first down. That's what this game is going to be about in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be about getting first downs. On 3rd and short, are you trying to go 5 wide and throw a slant? Or are you putting on your big boy pants and challenging whoever steps up to you to try to stop you from getting that first? I think Andy understands that.
Right. And I think a lot of like we have to understand like yeah these teams are maybe not be the best or not their playoff caliber or whatever, but we have to understand this offensive line has played in the last couple at least until since the first time we played Denver. We've played like top 10 defenses most of the time since till this game. And our offensive line, yeah, they had their struggles, but they have been able to keep them up, give Mahomes protection, give him enough time to make these passes. And so I feel like that's what we kind of have to look at. And like you said, like this is a really good experience that we're having because this is what we're going to see in the playoffs because we know they're going to, playoffs is a different ball game and defenses are going to be stepping it up. But we are playing against really, really great defenses and we should be thinking about, and we should be giving our line and just our whole offense a lot of credit.
Yeah, exactly right. And remind everyone that this was a top 3 defense that we played. Like we were talking about, I don't care what measurements you want to use, DVOA, total yards, red zone scoring. By all measures, that was a top 5 defense, even though they were missing a couple guys. They had Pro Bowl caliber players like Leonard Floyd, Eddie Jackson, Kyle Fuller, and we whipped them. Like, they lost bad. They wanted to win this game. They didn't want to get embarrassed on their home field on Sunday Night Football, and they really got worked out. There was nothing they could do.
Right. So going from that, let's go on to the defense, who just makes me happier every week. Every week that we see them, every single week. But let's start with Butch. Butch, like what stood out to you? Another great performance by this defense.
This is what's happening this is what I was hoping would happen. When we started off in the off season, right? Just think about into the off season when we knew we were going to lose our defensive coordinator and basically every coach that we had on the defensive side. We ended up hiring Steve Spagnuolo. And I was a little hesitant at first after seeing his track record for years during the regular season. But we knew that there was something there, not just because of the familiarity, because he was the defensive coordinator for the Giants when they beat the Patriots, the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl. So we knew he had a pedigree of being able to coach defense. It was going to be highly complicated, but how is he going to be able to do so? He gets the right personnel. He gets people he's familiar with. Matt House, Sam Madison, who he coached on that 07 Giants team that won the Super Bowl. He gets Dave Merritt, or he gets a host of other coaches, including Brendan Daly, who won 3 championships with the Patriots as his D-line coach. And you see it in the offseason. It's like, okay, I can see how the brain trust on defense is working. Beginning of the season, it didn't work out so well. They were still trying things around, still trying personnel shifts, still trying to get the scheme right. It's a complicated scheme. There's a lot of coverage shells. There's a lot of rules and responsibilities. But over time, we knew if we just stayed patient, if everyone just kind of believed in the system and put their all into it and trusted one another for the roles that they were at and did their jobs, we would get a result like this. Trubisky's head was spinning that entire game. He could get no part of his offense figured out. He wanted to throw the ball in certain spots, and even when he did, he almost got picked off. Or he thought he saw one thing and then saw another. He was seeing ghosts out there throwing the ball away, taking off running when he shouldn't have, staring at the rush after 2 seconds, panicking and dropping his eyes and running out of bounds. We had them. For 4 quarters, we had what had been a decent offense, and I think we can do that to other offenses going forward. I'm very excited, obviously.
Obviously, yeah. No. What kind of amazes me is that, like, in the beginning, like you said, like we were talking about how bad the linebacker core is. We're talking about draft picks. Let's make some trades. We weren't happy about our secondary. The only thing we were really happy about was our D line. But even still, we're giving Frank Clark a lot of stuff. Like, oh, he's not terrible. This was a waste of pick. We were just complaining. And now, like, I have nothing to complain about all 3 positions. Like, there's nothing I can say right now that I'm like, okay, this was terrible. No, everyone is just playing great, and like you said, we're playing as a team. Like, everyone's on the same page. Everyone's pumped. Like, I haven't seen this type of defense in a long time. I can't even remember. Like, it was when I started even watching TV. Like, when I saw when DT, Neil Smith, all those guys. Like, that was the last time I saw this much excitement on this team. And one other thing that I like is, like, how much they're switching things up. I mean, Kendall Fuller is playing safety. Like, and he played amazing.
He's playing well.
He's playing I'm well. Like I love I was thinking about this earlier. Our defense is kind of like our offense. We just confuse the hell out of these opponents to the point where they're like, okay, what are we gonna do? What are they gonna do? What are they gonna give us? And like that's how our defense is coming. Like I'm so depressed. I'm so impressed by this defense. I'm so excited to go into the defense. Like I'm so confident going to the playoffs right now.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not gonna say. I know we've been like the best defense in the NFL over these past 5 or 6 weeks. I'm not gonna go as far as say we're the best defense in the league. That's probably we feasted on some bad offenses, but we did what you're supposed to do against bad offenses, and we smoked them. We made them turn the ball over. They couldn't move the ball with any regularity, or they get into the red zone and stall out. We showed speed, we showed tenacity, we showed toughness, and the names are starting to match. Like again, you just say it out loud. You're like Tyrann Mathieu. Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu's a good player. Terrell Suggs, man, he's been a great player in this league for years. Kendall Fuller, man, he was a boss in Washington a few years ago. Hasn't panned out thus far, but you see him making plays on this defense right now as a safety. Like, yeah, it makes sense. He's been a good player. These are good football players that are coming together for Steve Spagnuolo, and I can't speak enough about Juan Thornhill. I mean, to get him in the third round, thank you, Brett Veach. Wow. I was initially sold into Nasir Adderley as being the top free safety out of that draft, as being the true road runner. No, that hasn't been. Juan Thornhill is making his case for being a Pro Bowl snub. He's making his case for being one of the top safeties in the NFL with his intelligence, his ability to track down the run, support the run, play over the top, really help out our corners. He has been a Mr. Do-It-All. Brett Veach, you really nailed it in this draft, man.
Right, I know. Yeah, I mean, my hat's off to Veach as well. He's just turned this roster around and to a roster that we were all really concerned or worried about. Like, are we going to take advantage of this like amazing offense that we have? Like, are we going to actually win? Like, the clock is running out on having all these great players on our team, and we're seeing it turn around, and people, and it shows to you patience. Patience is what you need when a new system comes. And, we didn't have a lot of patience, but I'm glad that we were able to wait it out. I'm glad everything's coming together. And all I can really think about is Tyrann Mathieu's, I'm too smart. I love that. I love that guy.
Yeah, I mean, but it's true, though. I mean, you see guys, you saw Mitchell Trubisky back there on a couple of those third downs. He's fading away from the blitz, and he's looking, before he's throwing the ball, he's looking dead for 32. Where is he at? Where is he at? I don't want to end up on the wrong side of this highlight. He is far too smart. He got snubbed for the Pro Bowl. That's my guy.
Right. And then so that was, so great game by the team all around. How were your predictions? I know I got 24-17, 20, yeah.
Oh, man, yeah. My prediction, I believe, was at 24-20 or something like that. I had us barely winning. I actually had Chicago, going to the first half with somewhere close to a tie game, something like that. I thought it was like 13-10. No, I had us winning by a more convincing score. I had us winning, I think 27-14 or something like that.
13, I think you did.
So I mean, we nonetheless we ended up smoking them. It wasn't even all that close, and to tell you the truth, I put this on Arrowhead Pride. I said the Chiefs should have shut him out. They shouldn't have got that 3 points on that field goal because Chris Jones had a horrible roughing the passer on Mitchell Trubisky while he was just standing in the pocket. The pass was incomplete. Travarius Ward had perfect coverage. I don't know why Chris decided to touch Mitchell Trubisky because he flopped like LeBron. But we should have shut him out in that game.
Right. And this is a game. The game goes to show you the Chiefs picked the right quarterback, and thank the football gods. Thank you, Chicago Bears, for giving this to us. That's all we got, you guys. Thank you so much for checking us out. Remember, please subscribe, comment, like, do it all for us. Till later on, peace.
Peace.